Hi everybody, my name is Sergiu, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about this Xbox machine, which I have here, and how I came to have it, because it was broken when I got it, but then I fixed it, and I'm hoping that by describing the steps and what I've done, I might provide some useful info for you guys. Also, I'm gonna be trying to beat my speed record in Forza Horizon 2 with the Veneno. So yeah, let's get into it. So basically, when my roommate moved out, he left this thing behind. It was broken. It was showing the red LEDs error at the front. Oh, by the way, I do not claim to be an expert in this, but I do understand kind of what happens inside these boxes. It's a bit of a hobby for me, just getting into things and fixing them. So I was having the free LED error. So I looked inside, and apparently there was an issue with how the heatsink was sitting on the processing unit, so I've had to reseat it. And then after I've done that, it actually worked, so it came on. And I thought, okay, right, so it's actually powering up. I couldn't log into my Microsoft account because it's an older version of, well, it had a pretty old firmware on it, because remember, it's the first version of the 360, which, by the way, I think that the design of this thing is way ahead of its time. So I said, right, okay, let's update. So I hit update, and it would keep throwing back this hex string that was an error, basically. It was telling me that there's, well, after I looked it up, obviously, it was telling me that there's something wrong with the optical unit. The optical unit apparently had been replaced, or somebody's done something to it, because when I had a look at it, I could clearly tell. Anyway, so I thought, okay, right, I'll unplug it. So I did. And then I tried to update again, and I got a different error this time, which, after I looked it up, apparently was saying that it was missing the optical unit altogether, and that's why it wouldn't update. Because apparently there's a hardware key on the PCB, basically on the inside of the optical unit, so that PCB, that needs to be read by the motherboard. And it needs to load, otherwise it's just not gonna work, it's not gonna do anything. So I said, right, I gotta fix that. So I opened it up, and apparently one of the voltage rails was down, so I've done that. And then the optical unit came up, and then it actually worked. I managed to update, well, on the second attempt, because the first attempt I got a third error, which was basically telling me that the firmware version that was on it was too old to be updated, so oops. So I looked up Microsoft's website, and this is, I think, important to know. They do provide the firmware files with the latest firmware version. So what I've done was to download an older firmware from Microsoft's website, install that, and then I updated to the latest firmware. Anyway, so eventually that's how I got it running. And then I said, right, I'm gonna put a game in it and see what happens. And it wouldn't read the disc. So I said, okay, I'm nearly gonna give up on this thing. But it was just a matter of simply just adjusting the power and the focusing of the laser pickup. That was basically it. So after I've done that, then it came on, and now it's working. So I said, right, I have an Xbox now. At first I just did it because it was one of those things that I enjoy doing, in my spare time. But then I said, right, let's try and play a bit, see what it's like. So basically, I do find myself quite enjoying the game thing lately, because I'm not really playing a lot. I went for years and years and years without playing anything at all. Once I've done this, I said, hey, why not? And I really got into it. Anyway, let's call up Horizon 2. And I'm assuming that if this was a newer version of the Xbox, because the game came out in 2014. That is 2003 hardware, so I'm assuming that the newer hardware will run the game, it'll look better. But I mean, it's still not too bad, honestly, Anyway, right, let's do some driving. I'm gonna be trying to beat my speed record. There's on the main motorway in the game, there's a speed trap, and last time I registered 404 something kilometers an hour, so I'm gonna be, you know, aiming for 405 or 406, and hopefully I can beat the speed record. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. I hope you can still hear me. You know, actually, I'm just gonna turn down the volume on the TV. I think it makes sense, because basically the mic I'm using is quite sensitive. Anyway, right, so here we are. I don't know where I am, so I'm just gonna have a look at the map. Whoops, wrong button. But anyway, that works too. Right, so that's where I am. All right. Right, so what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna turn around and drive all the way back to the other end of the motorway, because that's where I'm gonna need to be. And also, yes, I'm using this camera view because I'm just not used to. For some reason, I can't seem to be able to drive unless I'm in this view. I just miss, you know, I miss like entrances and that kind of stuff. I just crash into things. This is not the Veneno, obviously. I'm gonna be switching over to the Veneno. Yeah, so anyway, in the meantime, I really do kind of enjoy the fact that you can drive freely in this game. So you can, if you want, you can be off-road, you know, you can drive through like open like forests and stuff, so it's not bad, you know. I really quite enjoy it. Whoops, that was close, wasn't it? I find that the controller is not quite as accurate, and so I'm not surprised that people use an actual wheel and, you know, a proper chair. That's the speed trap. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get to the other end, which is it's actually right ahead, so it's not that far. And I'm gonna park there. I'll show you the garage, and I'll switch to the Veneno, and then we'll drive back at hopefully 405 or 406 by the time we get to the speed trap. I'm still getting used to the to shifting manually. Oh, the light went out. Oh, anyway, that's whatever. Right, so that was the green light. Apparently, it just blew. Right, so basically, I've been driving the Corvette so far. That's the the 1960 version from the 60s. It's a really nice, it's a really nice car, but not exactly stable. You know, it's yeah. Then I got the Charger 69. That's a worldwide favorite. Got the Bowler EXR Sport. I got the Aston Martin Vanquish. I didn't know about this version until I started playing this game. I got the SLR. This is also one of my favorites. It's got lots of torque. The Murcielago. This is not the no, that is actually the latest version of it. So the 2010 SV. I got the GTR Black Edition. This is not the Nismo. I got the LaFerrari in here. I got the Veneno, which I'm gonna select for the speed record thing, and I got the P1, the McLaren. Out of all these cars, the Veneno is my favorite because it's got probably the most amount of torque in the game. The handling is amazing in this game. It's got its all-wheel drive. It's naturally aspirated V12. Lots of power, lots of everything. It's just, you know, like a proper Lambo. In fact, I prefer the Lambos over Ferraris when it comes to the way they drive, because it's the Lambos are all-wheel drive. To my knowledge, they're all actually all-wheel drive. Anyway, so I'm gonna be taking it easier at first, but then I'm gonna start slowly accelerating. but this is gonna be fun. So there's gonna be a really high speed run. Whoop. Right, here we are. Anyway, I'm gonna start accelerating after this corner because I'm gonna be going uphill, so that's gonna matter, I believe. Anyway, we're starting to get some daylight as well. That's pretty fast already, isn't it? Anyway, you ready? Let's do it. Whoa! I'm gonna try not to crash. Got 360. The tunnel should be somewhere up ahead. And inside of that tunnel is the speed trap. 378, we're still going uphill. There we go, that's the tunnel. 382. Well, that's one of the tunnels anyway. 394. 399. Speed trap is coming up ahead. 402. 403. Difficult to keep this thing on the road at that kind of speed. Yeah, that worked out. That was good. Man, that was crazy. Yep. Anyway, I think I'm probably just gonna stop here. To show you the car for the most part. Right. Gonna switch the camera view. Just so you can see the car. So that's the car. Nice. I really like the looks of this thing. It's like the Batmobile, they call it. And it does look like it. And finally the daylight is kind of coming through. Yeah, that's I think that's that. I'm just gonna go back to the home and call it a day, I think. So thanks for watching. That was fun, I think. I'll see what I do about the newer Xboxes. Maybe I'll get myself one. I don't know. You know, it might be worth looking into it. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, which is. It should be next week at some point. Yeah, there's a few things I'm working on, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff. And if you have any kind of requests, I'll be more than happy to you know, try and make videos on things that you guys want to watch. Because, you know, if you don't tell me, I don't know. So tell me. Cheers.